All right, guys. Well, welcome to our STEM Professional Development Virtual Learning Session. We are doing a kickoff this year with talking about our annual conference. And one thing that you're going to see a little bit different, and we'll highlight the change, is the LSMRCE, not the LSMCE that we were formerly accustomed to. But I did check again today. Deb has, if you go to the LSMCE.org website, it gives you a nice little click and you will be able to go directly to our updated website. So tonight we're going to talk about our annual conference, what it's about, what the agenda is, how to be prepared for it, how to make it, how to be the best prepared, but also just how to maximize it and enjoy it. All right, so we'll just move forward. So what we do with these webinars is we're here to try to help our students become more successful, more productive, more effective in not only just their academics, but also professionally and in their personal lives. So we'll have a series of different topics throughout the year. For those that just want to know maybe what one of our future topics is going to be, we're going to have so many students doing poster presentations that in a few weeks we're actually going to be doing another webinar specifically on helping students prepare those poster presentations and how to get their research, how to communicate it, and how to potentially win some prize money at the conference this year, because we will be actually giving out awards at the conference. Okay, so what we'll do just real briefly, I wanted to highlight LSMRCE.org is where you will find all things related to the conference, related to different events that are going on with LSMRCE this year. Also, different internships and other opportunities that exist. We really encourage the students not only to go to the website, but open those emails that come out. There's emails that come out with these great opportunities, and we really want you to take advantage of it. So we're just going to transition here to the actual agenda. And feel free, if you have any questions, please just take take your phone off mute and just ask. So we're expecting everyone to kind of come in around Friday. There will be some people that come in on Saturday morning, but the majority of the people will come in Friday. We'll have registration tables open at 8. There'll be someone there to greet you throughout the day. There are a couple events that are going on before our bigger events take place that night. We have our Alliance workshops from 11 to 5. And then also we have a pre-conference student workshop from 3:30 to 5:30 discussing graduate school. Now at 4 to 5:30 is the partners meeting. So for our students, there's some things they can get into, some things they can go and relax, freshen up, whatever the case may be. We are then going to have our big event that everybody typically loves. Is we have our DJs, we have entertainment, we have food, we have drinks, we have everything available for you just to have a relaxed time as we not only network, but we teach the power of networking, and we do some networking exercises, and we just make it real fun for the audience. A key for participants this night, especially students, you can wear your school colors, your school gear that night. You don't have to dress up in the professional attire. We want you to be relaxed and have fun. Now, afterwards, dinner will be on your own, but you will notice with the hotel is connected directly to a mall, and it is absolutely a plethora of options inside the mall. Okay, so we're going to wake up early on a Saturday morning and have some good breakfast, and then we're going to get started. 8:35 in the morning, we have our keynote. We'll have a 15-minute break, and then we're going to go into poster sessions. So Deb wanted me to ensure that I told you guys at 7:30 on Saturday morning, you'll be able to start putting posters up. There will be instruction inside of your registration pamphlet of exactly where you need to post. You'll start posting around 7:30 so you can be back at the keynote at 8:30. And then we're going to start having some fun with poster presentations. We're given a really good amount of time for our students this year, so no one has to feel rushed. We're going to start with even numbers, and then we'll go with odd numbers. This allows for students to not only be prepared, but also to have their voices heard and to allow judges to really get two more students instead of having everyone speaking at the same time. And if you're an odd number, you got an advantage this year. You get a chance to see the even numbers go first. And we encourage people to support each other, support your school, support other schools. And if you're not doing a poster presentation, don't take this as an opportunity to just go back to your room and relax. We really want you to take this as an opportunity to learn, because we want you to be presenting at the next event. We'll have lunch, then we'll have a keynote, and then we're going to have a pretty unique thing we do every year called our Voices of Success. Dr. Shaw always leads a great panel of alumni and our students who have gone on to do wonderful things, but they matriculated through the process, and they are direct examples of what the program and what this conference and the LSMRCE organization brings. Then we'll have an event called kind of like a resource fair prep session. It's 2:30 to 4. It's our breakout session for the students. And really, we're going to get you ready to go to the resource fair, how to maximize the resource fair. And we'll talk a little bit about it tonight, but in this workshop, we're going to go into full detail. So at 4 o'clock and those doors open, students can go out and really take advantage of the universities or the research labs, et cetera, that are there. And then we're going to have a second breakout session. This year, we're doing something unique. It's not on the agenda here, but you will see it updated. For our graduate students from 5:30 to 7, we'll be doing a financial workshop called Fast Track to Six Figures. And it's going to be a unique experience. We're going to be talking about how to earn certain incomes, but also how to sustain the income. And then just some financial basics of how to manage that income as well. And then on Sunday, we'll wake up, have a nice breakfast again, and then we'll have a breakout session and then our award ceremony. We encourage people that during your travel arrangements, if you can, schedule your arrangements afterwards, because maybe you or one of your classmates is a winner, and we want you guys to be a part of it and be able to go up there and get your awards, but also just to be able to network on that Sunday morning and support other people as well. So any questions just on the pure agenda side of this at all? And don't feel uncomfortable with asking. No one knows it all. But I believe Deb and I talked earlier, the only thing right now we're seeing as an adjustment to what you're seeing me scroll through is going to be on the Saturday night. There will be a 5:30 to 7 session for the graduate students for the financial discussions. Okay, last chance for questions on the agenda itself. All right. So now what I wanted to talk about is just a few tips. I want to give you a few tips to prepare you for the conference. And so we put this number 7 up here, and this is what 7 means. 7 seconds to make a first impression. So you're going to have an opportunity to interact with so many people. I believe the projected numbers right now may be upwards of 400, 500 people are going to be here. And that's a mix of faculty, a mix of administrators, a mix of undergraduate students, graduate students. I don't know, we may even have some city officials that want to stop by or something. So it's a wonderful experience, and this is one of our largest experiences. So this 7 seconds to make a first impression is very critical. And we really, if you're on here and you're bringing a group of students, this is a lesson that we really want to teach, that you have a chance in just a few seconds to leave a lasting impression with someone, and you are going to be able to do that with hundreds of people. So we definitely want to just remind them that science shows us that 7 seconds is all it takes for a person to truly make a first impression. So let's talk about the resource fair a little bit. And I'll ask Deb to kind of step in and give me a little bit of detail if I miss anything. So what does this mean to you? So for us, what we think it means to you is an opportunity to focus on these four key areas. We have a number of undergraduate students who want to go into some form of graduate school program. So we make that available. There will be graduate school opportunities there. We have experience. I've personally have seen it where students have gone to the resource fair and then they received internships.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So this is not just smoke and mirrors here. This is absolutely a fact. There will be people there that can definitely give you opportunities. Now we talk about the employment side. So that also is part of the equation. There may be someone there that has the ability to get you connected for a full-time job. You may want to work in one of the laboratories. You will have that opportunity. Also, you may be able to talk to a university and just start understanding like what other people are researching and starting to get alignment with your research. That's one of the unique things that our students get a chance to do is understand, hey, at the institution that they're in currently, not that it's judging the institution, but they may not be have a focus in that area of study that you're interested in, and you may be able to learn that another university has that particular area of focus that you have, and that may be something that's very big on their list of things to do at their university. So it's not about just is the university good or bad type of thing. When we get into this research space, it's about aligning what our desires and goals are with what the institution offers. And so this is one of the things that as we're just networking at the resource fair, and then just in general, we want you always having that dialogue about what your interests are, because you'll have people throughout the 3 days of this conference that can direct you to resources within inside of, that interest that you have. Is there anything, Deb, you want to add there?
I think you covered everything, Brian. I mean, I think that you just pointed it out, is that this is a really good opportunity for you not to just be exposed to graduate programs if you're looking for an academic route for graduate school and beyond, but this also will have employment, both corporate as well as like government laboratories will be represented. And those government laboratories and those corporate organizations that are coming, they already have opportunities available for us, and they're coming with those opportunities.
I have a question.
Yes, please.
Perfect.
It is it's a practical question.
Yeah.
I've been to other conferences where there are vendors and various resource tables that have tangible takeaways, like products that you can take with their name on them or what have you. So in terms of packing, we're trying to see if we can get away with one bag that's not checked. From your experience, do you think there'll be the opportunity to have so many different items from so many different tables that we might need to check a bag on the way back?
I don't think so. A lot of them are just so small. I mean,
Okay.
like little things like highlighters or battery banks, or some of them will have
Okay.
like little stress balls or something like that. They're small items.
Okay, great.
The most I've seen anybody give away is a hat or something like that.
Okay, great.
What do you think, Brian? You're muted, Brian.
No, I agree. I think the uniqueness about what our purpose is at the conference, at this resource fair, is we're truly about trying to get the students into their graduate studies, into their PhD programs, into the laboratories. And so it's less about marketing.
Okay.
Sometimes you go to the career fairs and yeah, they may have a couple jobs here and there type of thing, but they also are just there to market. We're going to have some people that do want to market what they're doing, but this is really about getting our students to the next level. So
Okay.
there's less swag type of
Mhm.
things, and they don't take up a whole lot of space. So you should
Right.
be good.
Yeah.
Okay. Great.
Pens, that type of thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
especially with, considering the way Deb set the conference up, where Friday and Sunday you can wear your school gear. I
Mm-hmm.
absolutely believe that you have one day of professional attire.
Yep.
So maybe you pack, two professional items.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe if you have one pair of pants, you maybe bring two shirts type of thing.
Right.
Um, so you can, just in case you waste something on your shirt or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But you should be able to easily pack, knowing that you have the school attire and things like that for 2 days.
Okay. Great. Thank
Yep.
you.
No problem. And great question.
That was
It's
a great
simple
question.
questions like that
Seriously.
that
Yeah.
allow you to be better prepared.
Hmm.
And one of the great things with conferences that I always try to teach is conferences can seem overwhelming. It's a lot of people, it's a lot of things going on. The
Mm-hmm.
better prepared you are, I mean, literally just having your toiletries and things like that, and your
Mm-hmm.
attire already mapped out of what you're wearing, and just knowing where rooms are and things like that. It's like it allows you just to relax. The
Yes.
less things that you have to stress over, like, oh
Mm-hmm.
my gosh, I forgot this, I forgot that.
Mm-hmm.
We have the agenda already laid out. When you get there, if you get there early, you can literally walk to all the rooms.
Okay.
So you don't have to worry about, oh, it's 10 minutes to go from one room to the next. You know exactly where that is. And
Okay.
so those are the type of things that we try to, that's why we have these type of sessions. It's just to give you a level of comfort, because we do have a lot of young students. And yes, we want to have focus on our students that are ready to go into their graduate studies or ready to go into employment. But we really want to put a strong focus on our young students
Mm-hmm.
because we have a chance to leave a great impression with them.
Mm-hmm.
And then they build their confidence up, and
Yes.
then they start going to their advisors and start asking you for things
Yes.
instead of you
Yes.
having to tell them things.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Great. Thank you.
no problem.
And on the tail end of that, historically speaking, we were funded from 2012 until we're still funded for our no-cost extension for the pilot grant. Approximately 80% of the students that attended our conference, this was their first conference experience. And so we try to approach it with that lens in mind.
Okay.
All right. So the last one, from a 4 areas of focus for the resource fair is just networking. So you absolutely may go to the resource fair and you're like, well, I don't know if that grad school is for me, or I don't know if that laboratory is for me. But one of the things that we ask students, and we're challenge students on this, go and just learn about something that you may not even be interested in, or you just don't know more that much about. You never know how that may benefit you, how it may benefit one of your friends that is studying. You may learn something about a research area that could benefit someone else. You also, guess what? You don't know everything. You might just be convinced of something. You may learn something new. So we want you to just take advantage, even if you're like, oh, I'm looking at the list of people who are going to be there. Just always give it a shot. Okay. So just a few resource fair secrets here. So table representatives are looking for you, right? So they want you. They're there for a reason. They're not there just for fun. So they want to see you. Many table representatives were once in your shoes. So this is where we want our students to have confidence, and we want them to relax. All of us were once on the other side of the table before we were recruiting, before we were sharing about the opportunities that we could give someone. We were looking for the opportunity. So I like to tell students this because I want you to be confident, and I want you take it serious and be formal, but I want you to relax and just believe in yourself. If you don't ask, you don't learn. So you have to be able to ask questions, and just feel free to challenge yourself to get outside of your comfort zone and learn something new. And it's okay to make it, if you don't make it to each location. There may be a number of students out there, it may be pretty busy, and because of that, we like to ask you to make a top 5 list. It may be a top 3. These are the 3 booths that I want to make sure I talk to. And so as soon as the doors open and we head out, you go to those first. So just in case you don't make it everywhere, you can at least say, hey, those top 2, those top 3, those top 5 that I wanted to talk to, I was able to get there. And then some tables have multiple representatives. So you may look at a line and you may be, oh, I don't want to go over there because there's too many people. Well, if they have 2 or 3 representatives, the line's going to move a little faster. So it's just one of those things that at resource fairs, people can just get, it's like 100 people coming out and you got people talking and you're trying to like figure things out and and it's just like, you know what, I'll end up doing nothing. And that happens to a lot of students. They don't know what to do, so they end up doing nothing. And that's the very last thing that we want. We want you doing something. And so we're going to be teaching during that workshop right before the resource fair. We're going to be going deeper into these things because my number one responsibility is to build your confidence up when I'm teaching that workshop. So one of the other things that we like to talk about is when our students are feeling like, I don't know what I have to offer, or I'm just an undergraduate student, I haven't even done an internship yet. I'm just doing my first research, and so they actually are talking themselves out of a great opportunity. They're talking themselves out of being able to present themselves in their best light. And so these are just a few areas that we try to remind our students, listen, yes, we want to talk about our academic excellence, but also what are you passionate about? What type of things are you very energetic about? What that attitude that you have, that thing that just makes me attracted to wanting to support you and be around you and support your research, your determination. What things have you overcome? What type of ideas and what type of visions do you have? Though these are all the type of things that we try to get our students to get their heads wrapped around, because they, for some reason, a lot of our students kind of like talk themselves out of how strong they are and forget they have all these superpowers. And these are all the superpowers that come along with your academic excellence. You're in LSAM. You're at this conference because you have academic excellence. We already know that. So don't forget to let these other wonderful skills show. Are there any questions with this? Because I know we have an advisor on the line that's bringing a group of students tonight. This is an area that's very critical, and that's why the Friday night, we really encourage people to get there early on Friday so they can attend this Friday night session, because that's where I have, Deb is entrusted in me the responsibility of like getting our students' confidence way up and really getting them to loosen up and maximize these 3 days together. Any questions on this?
I don't have a question, but I think that the topic of increasing confidence in students is critical. It's something that I have been trying to, something that I have identified as an important area with the STEM fellows I work with and the STEM students, and also something that I've been trying to find resources to help to strengthen them in that area. So I really appreciate what you all are going to do in that respect.
And side note, Brian Thomas is our student professional development guru. He is the person that we have entrusted for a number of years to develop the students' professional development sessions, specifically because he is so good at energizing and talking to the students and talking to them at their level and getting them enthusiastic about STEM. And I don't want to speak for Brian, but I know that Brian does speaking engagements and things. And if there's anything that you need, by all means, reach out to our center. We'll see what we can do.
Oh, thank you so much. Okay.
Yep. My recommendation is just go through Deb. I'll share my information at the end.
Yes.
If you want to just have a conversation about what that can look like, but we'll funnel that back through Deb. And it's my number one. I think you've heard me say this a couple times. what Deb has entrusted me to do or what my responsibility is. I guess I didn't really introduce myself at the beginning of this because we just get going. But my name is Brian Thomas. I've been working with the LSMCE for the last 4 years. Now, year 5, we're LSMRCE.
Year 6.
Year 6, actually. Oh, wow, I forgot. Yeah, this is year 6 now. So we've started off just doing some workshops and you know, getting the students encouraged in different areas to the point where we've grown now to being a part of actually doing the student development, the planning of the conference, and truly making sure that throughout the full year, some of the things that you guys don't see behind the scenes is that we're in dialogue throughout the full calendar year in order to put together the best conference for our students. The other thing is, in between that time, as Deb just mentioned, you can reach out to her because I am available in between time to go directly to universities and provide support to them on site. I just left 2 universities yesterday, early this week, so we definitely can do that for you.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. So we'll go to our next slide. So this is a unique one, right? So we are at a conference, and the conference has opportunities for you to sit and learn. It has opportunities for you to go to resource fairs, but it's 500 people that you're going to be surrounded by for, at minimum, 48 hours spread over 3 days. So we want our students, we want our faculty, right? Not just our students, but we want our faculty, our administrators, and all those who attend to be networking. Now, this image is very particular, right? So you see all of the true networks. You see computers and you see tablets and things like this, right? And so these are all of the people, right, that you feel like, hey, I can network with in life. Well, this is the transition that we want to make at the conference. We want to get our students off of those cell phones, off of those tablets for a moment, and take advantage of being in a room with 500 people and physically go connect with them. Let them know who you are, find out who they are, start bridging, start building some bridges and some links and some contacts that are going to last with you for so many years. There's so many wonderful connections that take place during your collegiate years that can last you your entire professional career, whether that be in industry or through academics. That networks, I'm telling you, as I travel the country often, I'm shocked of how small this world truly is. It's a big world, right? It's a lot of space out there. But from a networking standpoint, especially in this STEM space, in this scientific, in this research, in this niche of ours, it's very small. And for those that take it serious, you have the opportunity to get access, to get support, to get people who will vouch for you because of the connections you can make at a conference like this. I do get a luxury of speaking at a few conferences outside of this throughout the year. And I'm telling you, this is one of the most dynamic environments that your students will ever participate in, starting from what we're going to do on a Friday night. And that's why we teach the networking through Friday night, where we're having fun and we're just going to be teaching just a little bit. But we're going to start off the conference with this. And we're hoping that not only do the students take advantage of this, but we absolutely want our faculty, right? Yes, you've gone through the school. Yes, you're the advisor. Yes, you're the teacher. But you'll be shocked at the connections that you can make inside of the room to not only help you in your career, but also provide better resources to your students as you try to support their careers as well. Okay, so this is a very unique one. This is one that we hadn't talked about before. Well, we thought it was very important this year to make a transition. So I always talk, and I wrote in my first book about having your resume on you, and that's nothing wrong with that. I think there's great value, but there is a transition that is taking place right now. And that transition is things being electronic. So this image has basically like a letter, we'll call this a hard copy of something being put into the computer. And so now people like to have resumes emailed, right? They haven't been big into the world of just everybody handing business cards out. Sometimes people want just things electronic. And so one of the things that we're asking our students this year to be prepared for, it's okay to have a physical resume, but a lot of our resource fair participants are telling us, a lot of our booth leaders are telling us, hey, we prefer students to have that email ready and have their resume emailed to us. So I challenge students. There's two things you can do. There's two tips I like to give you. One is you always have your cell phone. So all you have to do is if you have like a Gmail account, put your resume inside of your drive. So go to your Google Drive and just drop your resume in there. If you do so, when you're at a career fair and someone gives you their email address, all you have to do is put it in there and share it. You can share that with 50 people. So you don't have to like go and send these individual emails out. You can literally just say, hey, oh, that's your email address? Okay, let me add you to my resume. That's it. So that's a simple thing that we want to, get our students to kind of transition to this year, get more electronic, take advantage of the technology that exists. I can now send you my resume right from my cell phone. I don't need a laptop. I don't need a tablet. All I need is a cell phone and access to my Google Drive or my Windows. I think they call it Windows 1 now. I don't know what it's called.
OneDrive.
Yeah, OneDrive. We also have been talking about like business cards. Those can be separators, right? There's little things that can help separate students from others. Student to student, a business card could be of value, but I do know that some of the faculty and the resource fair people are saying that's not of value to them. Once they have the resume, those are the things that they need. But student to student, that's not a bad thing. One of the things that we want to talk about electronically, though, is making sure your LinkedIn profile is very strong. We want to have a strong LinkedIn profile. And when I do the workshop before the resource fair, I'll definitely be talking about some of those things as well. And maybe even on a Friday night at our networking event, we can give a few tips there as well. But we definitely want to have our LinkedIn profile very strong because you hate to say it, but people are going to check your LinkedIn. Mm-hmm. That's just the way it's going to be. That is, they're going to check LinkedIn before they call you. That's their way of trying to learn more about you. Okay. Deb, am I missing anything on the electronic side?
I would say the only thing that I think you might be covering this here in a minute, one other feedback that we received numerous times from our resource table hosts is that a lot of times they will connect with students and have really good conversations with students. But what they say doesn't happen is the students don't follow up afterwards. And they said that they find that disappointing because they were really looking forward to connecting with that student because they had opportunities in mind for that student. And the student just never followed through.
Yeah, that was one of our key takeaways that I was going to have from our dialogue tonight, which is the follow-up. And that's going to be a really strong theme that we have at the workshops and the conference this year is going to be with follow-up. And yes, there's a lot of people you meet. It's a busy weekend. So as you get back home, you may be having to study. You may have an exam or something, having assignments due, and life happens, right? Mm-hmm. So it's not that you are not following up because you're a bad person. You're not following up because life happens. And so what we want to do is build some structure around it. So one of the things in the follow-up, one of the takeaways is we say follow up the same day. We have time built. Deb built a beautiful schedule where you have enough time in between things to be able to have the proper sit down and, send that email. Thank you. Hey, we just spoke a few minutes ago. You know how powerful that is to tell somebody we just spoke a few minutes ago and you're already providing follow-up? to me, that lets me know that's a student that's serious, and I want to be of greater support to that student because this student seems to be very serious about their future. So that's just one of the themes. Another key takeaway that we want to take from our dialogue tonight is the power of the first impression. Review the agenda and build a plan. And I'll just, for video purpose, we'll go back. Just give you a quick look here. The agenda is right here at LSMRCE.org. If you go to our old website, LSMCE.org, the very top will allow you to click and take you right here to this agenda. So we'll scroll through just real briefly. And as we noted earlier, there is one change right here. Are you guys able to see my mouse?
Yes.
Okay, right here you will see an update here probably over the next week where you'll see a 5:30 to 7 for graduate students, where we'll be doing financial acumen training through a workshop called Fast Track to Six Figures. Okay, so we'll make our way back to the presentation. Dress for the occasion. So Friday, you can wear your school gear. If you want to dress nice, you can. But also you can wear your school gear. We're going to have a really, really fun event on Friday night. It's always a great time. And we really just get our students who are studying hard, taking difficult exams, putting in applications for graduate schools and all these things. We just want to give them a space to relax for a few minutes. I'll do a few tips and learnings, but really we want them to just get the conference started off in a very relaxed state as we get ready for some more serious discussions over the next few days. Follow up, we just talked about that. Keep your resume updated and available. And we just talked about it's okay to have a hard copy, but we talked about a few tips on the electronic side for your resume. Update your LinkedIn profile. You should do that before the conference. Make sure you do that before the conference. And then network. You never know who's going to be of service to you, how you can be of service to someone else. And then you never know how just a dialogue today may have a benefit for you 2 or 3 years from now. Even if the information that you learn today you cannot put into action, it might be someone you can follow up with years later and say, oh, now I'm prepared for that opportunity that you were discussing. So that's really, what we wanted to discuss tonight. Just for my purposes, if anyone wants to stay connected with me, these are the places that you can stay connected with me. But worst case scenario, if you don't know, how to get in contact with me, you can always get in contact with Deb. We're tied to the hip here. So I'll go back and leave it here as we close out tonight. Any questions, comments, thoughts, concerns? This is a free opportunity to get anything out so we can make sure that you're more than prepared in October.
Could you put your contact information up again?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Got it.
So are there any questions for tonight? Any thoughts, comments, concerns? Do you feel like, I guess, more informed? Like I know what's going to take place a little bit more now after today's dialogue?
Definitely.
Okay, that was the purpose. That was the purpose.
I guess one of the things that happens sometimes when you register early is I didn't think about going back and looking at the site. I don't remember seeing the pre-conference information earlier. It may have been there and I may have missed it. But yes, that was particularly a good thing to draw to my attention.
Yep, and your students, your
Mhm.
students are they're going to benefit for your preparedness, you being here tonight. They're really going to seek a great benefit, and I look forward to meeting them. So make sure when you get there, when you guys register, come find me. We can just
Mhm.
chat and talk, and we're gonna have a great time. I've been there for years. The beauty is like the beauty in it to me personally, and this has nothing to do with me working with Deb and the team. It's like family.
It is.
Mm.
It's like family. You get people who come to the conferences, and maybe go to other conferences together throughout the school year. We get to know each other.
Mhm.
And so I remember, one of the personal stories I'll tell is when I first was there, I was, like in my first year of marriage. Then the second time I came, my wife was pregnant. And now my son, I got a picture of my son at the conference in my wife's belly. And now my son's 3.5 years old.
Wow.
He's talking and walking and being a 3.5 year old, he'll be there, right? And he's like,
Yep.
it's family. We're
Uh,
part of, it's just a unique group of people who absolutely have one goal: help
Absolutely.
our youth,
Students.
help our students. I almost said help our children. I'm like, but they're all adults. They're like, we still call them children though
They
sometimes.
are,
Our
but I
babies.
think that we always approach it as if we were teaching and treating our own children, and we approach it with that, with that in mind. And whenever I think about, well, how would this feel like as a student coming to this conference, I try to think of it from my own 13-year-old and 16-year-old's perspective, just to make sure that we are as accessible as possible and as welcoming as possible.
we appreciate it. Thank you.
So don't hesitate to reach out with any questions or anything. Students should have heard already about their posters if they've been accepted. They also should have heard about their travel awards. If you have any questions about that, please let me know.
Okay.
The final date to be able to book for the block set of rooms at the hotel is October the 8th,
Okay.
as well
Oh,
as you'll want to get registered for anybody that is not getting a complimentary registration, as well by October 1st, I would say, because I think we go into the higher rate by then.
Okay.
However, if we have any faculty, administrators, mentors that would be interested in receiving complimentary registration, on the website, we are looking for poster judges as well as for volunteers. And anybody
Oh,
that does either of those gets complimentary registration.
okay. Thanks.
and do you mind typing your email address in the chat feature?
Not at all.
I think there should be a little chat spot down there.
So, JR, did you have any questions, or Junior?
The silent type.
There
I don't
you
know
go.
what. Hold on, I gotta get to my chat feature.
Okay.
That's perfect. Thank you.
You're
Yes,
welcome.
thank you.
And I will look to see that you have registered. And if you've not, I'll look for you on maybe a judge or a volunteer list, maybe.
Maybe.
Maybe. But I think one of the other things I will want to hit home with students is to build their confidence is to don't be afraid to ask. Don't be afraid to start up conversations, because everybody from our keynote speakers to our panelists, they're all there. They're all available. They all want students to come speak to them, to ask them questions, to talk about personal stories. Everybody is there, like Brian said, for the same reason. We're all there to support the students. And so everybody's very approachable. And
Okay.
we want to encourage our students to feel confident in being able to approach people and have conversations.
Great.
Okay. Any other thoughts, comments, questions?
That's it for me.
Well,
Okay.
thank you, everyone.
All right, thank you, and do encourage others once the video comes out, take advantage of it. If they watch it a week before, 2 weeks before, whatever, just make sure they go to our database of videos and things and take advantage of this. And Deb, do you have the date? What is our next webinar's date? Do we have that?
Our next webinar is next Wednesday, the 25th at 8 p.m. And that is for poster presenters or people that just want to find out more about presenting a scientific poster. Special guest presenters, including Brian, of course, but also is going to be the Doctorate Fellows from the University of Illinois, Chicago. And they will be leading the conversation about the anatomy of a poster, as well as the elevator pitch.
Okay.
Now, are any of your students this year presenting posters or?
We have
Uh,
one.
all right. Well, yeah, let's get them on there. Well, get them all on there so they can learn, but definitely get the one that's going to be presenting on there next week, because we actually will have students who have presented in the past giving a detailed explanation of how they've done it before. So definitely take advantage of kind of like getting a leg up, basically.
Yes, great. Okay.
Yep.
Can I ask you something real quick before you go, from a
Sure.
community college perspective? So one of the things that we as a conference that have grown have kind of struggled with is for our poster sessions. We've always had competitive poster sessions, but we're wondering if it would be valuable to maybe have two poster sessions where one was maybe competitive and one was not competitive. So students that were first-time presenters or had some research that was still early on in the research process, if that would be of value to student mentors and students.
I think so.
Okay.
We actually kind of experienced that last semester with the STEM fellows in the Alliance from Forsyth Tech, because as I said, we were new to the Alliance, and by the time we had recruited, interviewed, and selected our fellows, they had 17 days to get a digital poster together for the symposium for the Alliance. So quite naturally, I did everything I could to get them trained on how to write an annotated bibliography. And they went through all the processes, all the components that go in the poster, and they did remarkably well in that short amount of time. You know, when they had their posters up against students who had been doing research for 2-3 years, it looked different, but I was proud of them. I was really, really proud of them.
Thank you. I appreciate that, and I think that that's something we're going to look at doing going forward, Brian. I don't need you to comment. You didn't miss anything.
I was like scratching my neck.
Well, if anybody doesn't have any other questions, I think we're going to say thank you to Brian for presenting tonight, as well as thank you to everybody that took time to join us. As always, do not hesitate to reach out. You can get me through the website. You can get me through any of the emails that you get from me. I'm sure by now you've got a special folder called Deb Cole in your inboxes.
Yep. And encourage you to and let other people know to come and join us for the webinars. Not only do we have the ones we do this semester, but we'll be doing some more next semester for students. And we got to have it organic. So we the more people that say, hey, yeah, this is something worth dedicating 45 minutes to an hour to, because we'll get into some deeper topics as well, and so we want to make this available to you. All you got to do is sign up. This is free professional development. All you got to do is sign up and join in. You can be on the treadmill or something and just put it in your ear. So definitely take advantage of it.
Okay, thank you.
All right, take care, everybody. See you next week.
Bye-bye. Okay.